Hello, Physics 277 students. Welcome to the third video in our series of how to use the Linux command line. And I also welcome any other viewers who may have stumbled onto these videos. Although I caution you that in this video, some of the things we'll talk about will be unique to using the Linux systems that are present in the Stony Brook Math Lab. So today we're going to talk about directories and subdirectories. This is a very important topic because it basically means that you have a mechanism on Linux systems to organize your files into different directories. Now, directories are something that you may not be used to if you're coming from a Macintosh or Apple OS X system or a Microsoft Windows system. You may be used to thinking about folders, but the terminology we use in the Unix and Linux world is directories, and that's the terminology we're going to use throughout this class. Now, when you first log into a Linux or Unix computing system, you are placed into what is called your home directory. That is to say, your current working directory, which is a concept that the shell uses to refer to certain places where files are stored, your current working directory is set to the home directory. You can find out where you're located when you first log in, and I've done that here. I first logged in to the portal system of the Stony Brook Math Lab systems by executing the pwd command. And when you do that, as you'll see, you'll get a list of something that's called the absolute path to your home directory. In this particular case, my home directory is /home/campus.stonybrook.edu/dswesty. Now, if you're logging into your own Linux system, it's most likely to be something like /home/whatever your username is. Or if you're logging into an Apple OS X system, which is really running BSD underneath the hood, you're likely to get something like /user/whatever your username is. It doesn't really matter what this particular path to your home directory is, but it's just important for you to know that this is your home directory. Now, when I'm logged into my home directory, you may have other directories that are located underneath your home directory, what are called subdirectories. And you can always find out if that's the case by doing an ls command. In this case, I'll do an ls command, and I see four things actually listed there. Some of them may be directories, some of them may be files. In this case, it's color-coded, but when you log in, you may not see colors depending on the way your terminal window is set up. How can I find out whether something is a subdirectory or whether something is a file? Well, if I do ls and use the -l flag, remember we discussed that in the previous two videos, and I'll put a link to those videos if you haven't watched them. When I hit enter, I'll get a long form listing, and that long form listing will tell me whether those entities are files or whether they are directories. And in this case, when I do that, in column 1 here for this first entry, it says desktop, I see a D. That tells me it's a directory. In the case of file 2 here, the second entry, there's a dash there. That means it's not a directory. It's a plain old ordinary file. In the case of my SB files here, which is going to be important to the Stony Brook students, there's a D in column 1. And in the case of PDF, there's a D in column 1. Both of those, MySB files and PDF, therefore, are directories. So you can always use a long form listing to check whether something is a directory or whether it's a file. So we want to move into the MySB files directory. For Stony Brook students, this is going to be very important because of file system limitations that are present on the MATLAB Linux systems, any files that we place in our home directory will be deleted. In order to have something stored permanently, you need to place those files in your MySB file subdirectory. So the easiest way to do that, all right, is for you to use the cd command. CD stands for change directory. And the simplest way to use it is to say cd and then give it the name of a directory. So if I want to change my current working directory into MySB files, I would say cd and then type in MySB files. If I hit enter, I will have changed my current working directory to MySB files. How can I make sure that's the case? Well, I can type the pwd command, which gives me my present working directory. That's what pwd stands for. And we can see now that the absolute path to our current working directory had what was formerly our home directory right here, And then it's got a slash followed by my SB files, which is a subdirectory of my home directory. So now I have access to all the files that may be present in my SB files. And if I do an ls command, you can see I've got quite a few files that are sitting there. And again, I could do a long form listing to tell whether some of those are directories, some of those are files. I have a lot of subdirectories under this case. What if I want to move back to my home directory, right? Well, there are two ways I could do that. Actually, at least three ways I could do that. The easiest way is I could just type cd, change directory, without an argument. And if I hit enter, it will take me back to my home directory. How can I see that? I'll type the pwd command again, and you can see now that the absolute path that is listed there is the path to my home directory. If I want to move back into the MySB files directory again, I can just type cd in MySB files and hit enter, right? Do a pwd, and it puts me back in, shows that I'm back in my SB files. Another way that I could do it is I could say cd and then tilde, right? Tilde is an abbreviation that the shell uses to refer to your home directory. So in this case, I'm saying change directory, and I'm giving it an abbreviation that says change to my home directory, right? So I could do that, and if I do a pwd, then you can see I'm back in my home directory. Let me do this one more time. And no, by the way, let me show you a little shortcut here that will be helpful. When I type cd, if I type my and hit the tab key, the bash shell has a very nice feature, which is completion, right? Meaning that when you try to match a file name or directory name, if you can start off with a few characters that matches it uniquely and you hit the tab key, it will take you to that. It will basically substitute that file or directory name into the command line. So a very nice feature. Now you might ask, does it matter that I have this slash on the end here? I have my SB file slash. I can do that. Or let me go back to my home directory again by executing just cd, right? Or if I just type my SB files here, either way works, all right? Having a slash on the end doesn't really matter from the standpoint of cd, all right? That'll be important later. Now, what if we would like to create new files or new directories, right? I'm now, let's check where we are. I'm in the directory /home/campus.stonybrook.edu/dswesty/mysb files. What if I want to create a new subdirectory under there? Let's do an ls command to see what I already have. All right, I've got a bunch of directories and subdirectories. I have a bunch of subdirectories there and a bunch of files there, but let me create a new one. I'll create a new subdirectory called sub1. How can I do that? I'll use a command called mkdir, mkdir. And the way I use that is I would say mkdir, and this is the simplest way I could use it. I could say mkdir subdir1, okay? And if I execute that, and now I do another ls, I can see there, I'll highlight it for you, is a new entity that appears there, subdir1. How do I know it's a subdirectory? Let me say ls-l. And I can see in the long form listing, let me highlight the entire line here, right there, that subdir1 listing has a D in column 1 here. That D tells me it is a directory. Okay, now, since I've created this, how would I set that to my current working directory? Well, in this case, I could say cd subdir1, right? And if I do a pwd command to find my present working directory, sure enough, now it says that it's /home/campus.stonybrook.edu/dswesty/mysb files/subdir1. That tells me my current working directory has now been changed to subdir1 here. And this is the absolute path to that directory. We'll learn more about absolute paths and relative paths in a later video. So how would I move back to my home directory? Well, I could first move up one level by saying cd, and then how would I get up one directory level? How would I get back to /home/campus/edu/mysb files? Well, one thing I could do is I could say cd, and basically that would take me back to my home directory. But what if I wanted to go to mysb files? I could say cd and go to my home directory and then say cd into mysb files, but there must be another way to do that, and there is. We can use the abbreviation .. which the shell uses to say, I'm going to refer to the directory that's one level above my current working directory, right? And that's known as the parent directory of the current working directory. If I say cd ... and I do a pwd command, right, I now see that my current working directory is set to /home/campus.stonybrook.edu/dswesty. Let's try that one more time. Let me say cd ... again, right? And I'll execute that and say pwd, and it's moved me up one more directory level. Now my current working directory is /home/campus.stonybrook.edu/dswesty. Right? So this is another way we can move around. This ... abbreviation is very important. And I should note that when we say cd and space ... it's not dot space dot, right? It's two dots with no blank space, no white space in between them. All right, so that's very important. Okay, last thing, let's move back now to MySB files, and let's move to subdir1, right? And let's create a file. We'll use the touch command to do that. I'll say touch and file 1. Now if I do an ls, I have a file that's present there. Let's move up one directory level. What if I want to delete this subdirectory? I'll do an ls again. You can see here's my subdirectory, subdir1, and I want to delete that subdirectory. Well, there's a command called rmdir, and it stands for remove directory, right? And we can use this just like the rm command. We'd say rmdir and give it a argument. Right? This is not going to work, and I'll show you. When I do this, it's going to say fail to remove subdir1 directory not empty. Okay, that's because rmdir will not let you delete a directory that has things in it. Right? It has to be empty in order to basically make that happen. So what we have to do are delete the things that are in subdirectory 1. So I'll cd to subdir1. I'll do an ls to see what I have there. I have one file. I'll say remove file 1. Now remember, as I said in the last video, when we delete things on Linux and Unix, they're gone forever. So you want to be very careful about that. All right. So I'm going to delete this. All right. And I'm going to use the -I option to the rm command just so I am sure that what I want to delete, it's going to prompt me that I haven't made any typos when I type the file name, all right, which could be very important if you're deleting something, all right? And I'll say yes to this, and I'll delete it, and I'll do an ls. How do I know if I have any hidden files that might be present in a directory? Well, I could say ls -a, all right? It actually turns out that I have two things there, but that's okay. ... as we've already discussed, is basically a shorthand notation for the directory above my current working directory. That is its parent directory. So we'll actually use that to move up one directory level, but it doesn't count as a file, all right? There's also another shortcut here called ... and that's used to refer to the current working directory. Both of these things are shortcuts that refer to various things. And I'll say ls -l here, and oops, ls -al, right? And you can see I have two listings in there. ... is listed, and it's listed as a directory, and that refers to the current directory itself, and that'll be very useful. We'll talk about that in another video. And ... which refers to the directory one level above. These don't count as things when you want to delete the directory. So let's move up one directory level, cd, check where we are. It's always a good idea to check where you are, pwd, before you do some command like removing something. All right, I'm in my MySB files directory. Right, now I can use the rmdir command to remove subdir1. Okay. And it's gone. If I do an ls, that directory is no longer listed there. So this illustrates how we can make and create and remove subdirectories, how we can move around subdirectories using the cd command, how we can use the pwd command to find out what our current working directory is. That stands for present working directory. Okay, and if you are a Stony Brook student watching this, please remember when you log into the portal system on the Math Lab, you must place your files in the MySB files subdirectory. Anything that you leave in your home directory will be deleted, all right? because of file space limitations. You have virtually unlimited space available to you, I believe, in the MySB file subdirectory. So you can store as many things as you want there, but don't leave them in your home directory on the portal system because they will automatically be deleted. So I'll stop for now and we'll continue talking about this in our next video.